everybody. Daniel Allison, the average dude. Welcome to First Sip. Freddie Blanton, good morning.
Good morning, Daniel. The average dude, Allison. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, hey, you would think it would get old after 425 episodes in a row, but I love it every time. I love it every time.
Good news.
What's the good news?
LinkedIn worked today.
Let's go. Life is good. It's the little things. It's the little things when LinkedIn works. Good morning, Joe. Great to see Joe on the bus. We've got a great guest, Joe. You're going to enjoy this one.
Paul Pappy.
Let's drink. It's Masters Thursday.
Paul, if you're there, start right now. It will work out for you.
You ever been to the Masters, Fred?
No.
I think we need to find somebody with some Masters tickets and go to the Masters.
Paul goes every year. He's got some sort of hookup.
Does he? I can believe that. I can believe that. Well, hey, I heard through the grapevine that you may or may not 425. Let's go.
That's a
425 in a row. At least I'm going to have a timer and a ticker. We're going to keep track of it. Great to see Vicki Watts on the bus. We have been doing this now for a very, very long time, and we love it every single day because it's important to get your mind right. And look at DJ. Good morning to the Energy Bus crew.
Let's go,
DJ. Great to see you. Let's see, Vicki
said to Augusta, Paul Pappy. 6 trips.
Good night. Come on, man. That's just rubbing it in.
Come on, man. How many pimento cheese sandwiches have you eaten?
I used to go to the Masters all the time when I lived in Atlanta. Yeah.
Vicki, you have done it all.
She has. She's been in San Francisco. She's been at the Masters and been a lot of different places. Hey, we both did something today. And that's called taking a day off of the workout. What are the chances? What are the chances that we would both take the day off? Tell me why you decided to take a little break.
Well, so I had my youngest son turn 13 yesterday.
Ooh, let's go.
So he had some people spend the night. You know, we did the movies. We did some late night Taco Bell and ice cream. And I did have my stuff setting out for the workout. And when that first alarm went off, I said, nah. My phone, my watch has been telling me, recover. And today I said, yes, sir.
Sometimes we have to listen to our bodies. And we've got a high performance coach that I wanted to talk about. That very thing with a little bit, amongst other things. There's John Dobson, subcontained in the house. Yeah, we did a little fart sack.
You know what a fart sack is?
Hey, sometimes your body tells you to.
Yeah, that's an F3 term for laying in the bed.
Absolutely. Good morning, good evening, everyone. There's JK. And I love it when we get into different time zones. That's always fun. And we get to meet great people when we get out of our own time zone. And that's what leads me to Mr. Raw and Raw Speed Networking.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
And that's where I met our guest. And have you tried the Raw Speed Networking yet, Fred?
No, that's for like big time people. And I'm just.
Hey, you did. It's a great opportunity to meet new people, and that's exactly where I met our guest this morning, and so we're going to introduce him now, and we're going to talk a little bit about how we met. So let's see. Joining us today. This is my intro. You ready, Fred?
Yeah, are you going to cue the music or just talk through
it? Joining us today is Duncan Star Bolt, high performance coach, mechanical engineer, 3-time founder, world record athlete who famously crushed 452 unbroken wall balls.
I have a story about that.
Is also the author of an upcoming book, Seeking Sukha, helping leaders master their minds and find lasting peace. Duncan, welcome to First Sip, Not Average.
Let's go!
What an intro. Thank you.
Absolutely. Hey, Duncan, I believe you were sitting in a very similar spot when I first met you about a week or so ago there at Raw Speed Networking. Tell me what you love about the Raw Speed Networking and doing things like that.
Oh, it's such a cool network. It's what's really refreshing about it is, it's like Fight Club. There's rules. You're not allowed to talk about. Well, you're not allowed to talk about what you do, and not allowed to ask the other person what you do, and you're not allowed to talk about the weather. So that just leaves you with like actually connecting with someone and just getting to know someone, and it's just such an enjoyable way to connect, isn't it?
It really is, because there's no agenda, and it's, we all have that kind of, there's a little bit of social anxiety because you've met someone and you're kind of looking at them and you're not sure really what to talk about, but the only place to go is to really start thinking about that person and asking questions, and that's kind of what led us to this. So it's really an amazing thing.
And I would have to say, if he popped up on screen in a networking event and I was looking at that reflection, my first question would be, is that for real? Are you in Greece right now?
I am in Greece. Yeah, I'm in Crete. So,
and you spend a lot of time there.
Yeah, I live here the majority of the year now. So Cambridge in the summer. The rest of the year's here. So most of the year.
So that view is from your porch, where you live.
Yeah, this is kind of my office, which is a balcony.
What
but it's
a beautiful view.
It's nice. I've got the sea that way, but I don't want everyone to not want to talk to me. So
that's right. Well, and that's funny because of course I didn't know you. I didn't know where you were located. So the first thing I did was, like Fred was talking, I started looking at the background, trying to get a feel for where you were from and the geography of the situation. Tell us about that, how you ended up going to Crete and how that kind of progressed to where you ended up there.
Well, yeah, I think me and my wife have always, that's, like relationships, like you're often with someone who's like you're an opposite on a lot of things, but your core values are the same. And we both always wanted to live in the sun by the sea, and so we kind of traveled for ages. Because I used to run a CrossFit gym.
Yes,
and I got that to the point where it ran itself and grew, which was really, really nice. So I kind of replaced myself. So we were then able to travel. So we kind of tried to figure out where we wanted to live, and we went all over the world. We did California, we did America, we did your coast as well. We went Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, really trying to figure out where to live. And then we ended up in Crete, and it was, in November in Crete, I was like, oh, this is still really nice. I thought, and that was their winter, and I was like, oh, we could live here. And the nice thing is you can drive. We have to drive here from Cambridge because we've got a dog, a golden retriever. So we have to drive here from Cambridge once a year.
Wow, yeah. How long of a drive is that?
It takes us 6 days. You could probably do it in 3 if you could probably do it in 2 if you drove all night. But yeah, we like to enjoy it. So 6 days for us.
Well, in my preparation for talking to you, I did a little research on, I think you picked a great spot, especially with your background. You love adventure. You love outdoor activities. Tell us about some of the things that you've started doing there in the area as far as adventures and what you like to do as hobbies.
Yeah, I've always loved snorkeling and swimming, and I got pretty soon. I sort of I got into free diving. So someone taught me to free dive, and then taught me to spearfish. But then and that's amazing. You just like discover a whole different world. So I've stopped the fishing now, and I just go down, hold my breath, grab hold of a rock, and then wait for the fish to come over. That's like my favorite thing over here. But there's so much over here. You've got like there's caves everywhere, and there's actually 50 mountains over 2,000 meters tall on Crete, which is
free diving. You jump into the water and hold your breath for several minutes at a time.
I can, I think the longest I've done is like underwater is like a minute and a half. I try to take death out of the equation. But, but because I can do that without getting close to any danger. But yeah, it's an amazing experience. Like the fish are just so inquisitive. After about 15 seconds, the small ones come over, and then if you hold your breath for a minute, the big ones come over. It's really cool.
Oh wow, that is cool. And I've got a little picture I wanted to put up here because I know you've done some other things too. Do you remember this one?
Yes, yeah. That was my my world record.
Yeah. So tell us about you owned a CrossFit gym. You got into CrossFit. My first question: what is it that you love about CrossFit?
Well, yeah, I've always been really used to be very competitive before CrossFit. I was very competitive, and you kind of you compete every day in CrossFit. So I've calmed down. I've got that out of my system finally. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I was always did I mention to you like I don't know how many people, I'd love to see it in the comments, watched Forrest Gump and went, that's it. That's how you get fit. That guy's got it right. So I watched Forrest Gump and then I ran everywhere. I just used to sprint. So in inner sports, they'd like kick the ball away and I'd sprint and get it. I'd just sprint everywhere and I got really fit. So I think that drew me to CrossFit, the sport of fitness.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you go ahead, Fred.
Before we hear this story, Paul's already laid it down. The more I listen to Duncan, I realize I'm not interesting enough for a Dos Equis with a lime.
That's what I was thinking there too. When I first met Duncan, it's like you don't know who these folks are or what they're doing, but I could see. And then you start asking, you start finding out, and it's inspiring. It's, when we see folks that are doing amazing things, it's an inspiring thing. I've got to know about 452 unbroken wall balls. How does that happen, Duncan?
I just wanted to say, like, when you mentioned he's going to Augusta, I was like, awesome. That's interesting to me. I'd love to go. So,
that's right. That's right. We all learn from each other.
Everyone's cool. Both you guys, amazing. I'm like excited to talk to you. So, it's lovely for you to say that. But I'm inspired by you guys. This talk is incredible. But so wall balls. I always like because of my Forrest Gump background. I always like the difficult things because like in that. When everyone else is suffering mentally, I'm like, cool, because I've got mental toughness. So I like wall balls, I like thrusters because everyone else hates them. So it kind of gives me an advantage in a workout. So with wall balls, I decided I wasn't going to stop. I had a rule, like never stop. I never broke a set of wall balls. That was kind of my rule. So I did Karen, which is a workout, 150 for time, unbroken. And I'd always refuse to break. So, and then I got injured, actually. I got an elbow injury. And I was like, I can't train. So I'm going to work on a world record. Because I was like, I can. So I just worked on wall balls for a month. I was like, I'll do that while my elbow's recovering. It was good fun. I think I've always been quite good at wall balls, so I thought I'd just see what the top number I could hit was.
Now, how heavy is that ball?
It's 9 kilos.
Daniel, what's that in my terms?
What?
Oh yeah,
10 pounds?
9 kilos. That's 2.2. So I think it's 20 pounds. 20
Okay.
pounds.
20 pounds.
So yesterday during our workout at D1, we had some wall balls, and the weight was 16 pounds. And it was a group work, and I had to get to the number 60 to complete my set. And I think after 30, I thought, what in the world was he thinking when he did 452?
If you've never done a wall ball, amen, Freddie. I've been in CrossFit. I know what the wall ball is. It's not a fun exercise, you know, and I was reading the rules, you know, it's a full squat. It's a full squat, and then you know, you've got to hit the line, which of course that's a big deal as well. But that is, tell us more about this mental thing that says, I'm just not going to quit. When did that enter your brain?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose for me, yeah, I sort of scan the body. So what I'll do is I kind of like, I tell you, a good quote that helped me was, you know, Jens Voigt, he was like the cyclist,
I've heard that name.
Tour de France. And a good quote from him is "Shut up, legs," which I really like. So when I'm cycling, like if you're cycling and you're going hard, you feel exhausted. You're like, oh, I'm in the world of pain. Everything's gone wrong. All right. But if actually with cycling, you scan the body and you'll just go, oh no, my legs are struggling. Everything else is okay. Because generally with cycling, lungs are actually okay. You know, the body's okay, but the legs can be like absolute agony. So that's like a good. So what I do when I'm doing wall balls or exercise like that, I'm scanning through the body and trying to say what's real, what's actually happening here. So yeah, and I always, like, my tip on wall balls is find rest. There's rest in every exercise. And wall balls, it's actually only the top of the movement. The last, you know, when your hips just, let me do it. Your hips extend, that last little bit there. That's where the power should come from. And a lot of people go wrong. They try and power out of the bottom of the squat, whereas that's part of the rest. So once you catch the ball, it's rest all the way down until there's a little bit of power from the hips. And then the rest is all rest. Do you see what I mean? So I find rest there's a lot of rest in wall balls if you look at them that way, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And you know, it makes me think, you work on something, Fred. He's worked on this so much. He knows the mechanics of it. He knows where the wasted movements are. He knows exactly what we need to do to be efficient with the system. And
that's why sports and working out translates to everyday business seamlessly.
Absolutely.
You got to figure out the same stuff.
Well, it's mindset, and that's why, probably why Duncan wrote a book on it, right? It's mindset. It's mind over matter, I guess. It sounds like how I feel about burpees. I built to 100 at once, and it feels like death is coming for you. Absolutely.
Vicky, you did 100 burpees in a row.
That's pretty strong.
That's
real strong.
Strong.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of burpees.
No, that's fantastic. So I want to talk now about your book, Duncan. Yeah. And what drove you to write the book. You've explained to us that you were a hyper competitive person. It sounds like you started kind of changing your thinking on that, or maybe tell us why you wrote the book and what it's about.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So I was very competitive, and I got to the point where I was really struggling to switch off and relax. And so then I kind of dove into the Eastern side of things. So I got into a bit of meditation. Well, it started with mindfulness, then meditation. And then eventually I really got into the Eastern side of things. So yoga, breathwork. And I went to India to train as a yoga teacher. And I spent a month there, which is quite funny. You know, so my gym ran itself so well that I just told my team, I was like, I'll speak to you in a month. I did. I just didn't go on my phone for a month while I was turning to be a yoga teacher. So when I was in India, and also I've studied the mind a lot. Like my dad is like an expert on the brain, so I've always been like really interested in the mind. So I really dug into the Eastern understanding on the mind. I can explain it briefly. So in the West, we try and fix the mind, okay, and fixing the mind is like trying to push water up a hill. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's constantly changing the mind, so we can't fix it. You know, all three of our minds are changing today as a result of this conversation. You know, so it's constantly adapting and changing. So we can't change the mind, and also like if you think of all the books on how to fix your mind in the West, you could fill a whole library with those books. So it feels like it's this impossible task to fix the mind. We're constantly given new ideas and things like that. But in the East, they don't try and fix the mind. They just say you are not the mind, and that is enough. Just to so your mind can be racing. Your mind could be stressed. It could be angry. It can be racing, but you can still be okay because you're not the mind. So in the East, they just teach you a little bit of a gap between you and the mind, so you're able to observe the mind and still be okay when the mind's racing. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It's kind of observe your thoughts instead of being owned by them, and watch the thinker instead of being the thinker.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So I spent ages digging into that and really sort of mastering that for myself. Like I probably spent like 7 years before I really wanted to write my book and explain what I'd learned, because I really wanted to make sure it worked, because I'd done like life-changing courses in the past, but they didn't work. You know, like I had a good couple of weeks or something like that. But the Eastern stuff is very good. It's exactly what you just said. Just watch, learn to watch the mind.
What was it like? What were those folks like when you went overseas and you studied with some of these folks? What was their person? What was the vibe over there? What were those human beings like that have dedicated their life to doing this practice? Anything you could share on that?
Well, yeah, they're very because I've studied quite a lot of them. Very much at peace. They're very much at peace inside, and they have a deep understanding that they're always okay. There's so many, they in themselves, they have lots of different teaching styles and things like that. But they have a real presence. They really make you feel more and try and, it's almost like they're confused by your thinking. They're just like, stop thinking.
And they probably are.
Wow.
We live in a rushed society. Rarely are we present. And we don't take the time to slow down. And it affects everybody, mainly in a negative way.
Absolutely. Yeah. I saw this, Sukha, enduring internal happiness, and Preya, fleeting external pleasure. What can you talk about with that?
Yeah, exactly. So, that's why I called it Seeking Sukha. I was really pleased when I found the title, because it is that's literally. So
I like that.
Yeah, and so we in the West we often chase external pleasures, and we think that makes us feel good, but it's just an endless chase. Whereas all we're striving for in life, all we're aiming for, and that's really because I love goals and helping people achieve goals. But if you dig deep on our ultimate goal, the biggest goal in life, the goal behind every other goal, is just to feel good inside. And so everything we're doing in life is to feel good, and it's inside. It's an internal experience. So, and actually, if we dig a bit deeper, all we're actually trying to achieve is to know that we're okay. That's all we want in life. If we could know that we're always okay, that we're always content and happy internally, that sukha, that internal peace. So inner peace is actually all we're striving for, if that makes sense.
Now, you mentioned goals. What does the term impossible goals mean to you?
So I really enjoy impossible goals now. That's my new thing. So my dad was a motivational coach growing up. So so I set goals my whole life, and he's got this incredible system. But then when I came across impossible goals, I was like, oh, I like that. That instantly makes me aim a lot higher, which is good. But have you guys come across like 10x and 2x goals? Have you come across that term?
Yeah.
Yeah. So impossible goals are like you were aiming for that 10x growth, and what that does is that really forces you to transform. You have to change what you're doing. You can't carry on. You can't continue with the same processes. You've got to drop like 80% of the stuff you're doing and focus on that 20%.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. I know you work with folks now as a high performance coach. So I'd like for you to talk to us a little bit about that, and then share what the retreats are all about. I think you put on some retreats, don't you?
Yes. Yeah. So we've just started retreats here in Crete, which is really cool. And I really like to help people really sort of step up. So like we were saying with impossible goals, really step up and become the best version of themselves, like to really understand what they really want in life. I think so many people don't, that we're aiming small. And they haven't really figured out what they really want in life. A lot of people, we might think we've got big goals, but we haven't actually said, what do I really want? So that's what I really help people with on the retreats, and when I coach them, is I really help people figure out what they really want, and get them to vocalize that, get them to put that down and dig into that. And that's so powerful, because often it's a lot easier to achieve that than we think.
Absolutely. It's that clarity. It's that clarity that comes from really looking and knowing exactly who we are and what we want and why we want that. It's that alignment. I was just reading about that 80-20 focus over the last week. Let's see what Vicky says here. I want to talk to Duncan about the walk away. I am worried about 2 weeks in Alaska. Can't even imagine a month away, but I would like to, because Duncan said, you're not the mind, and that is enough. Absolutely. Yeah. So how can if folks wanted to work with you, Duncan, who is it that you'd like to speak to out listening with these listeners that Duncan would love to work with, or at least have a conversation with?
Yeah. So yeah, anyone who's inspired to, and they want to set big goals, but they just don't know. Yeah, they need someone to help them get them down and help them to aim high. And yeah, I'm very good at, a big part of it is teaching people how to switch off. So we should be able to switch off after work. That's if we're gonna achieve great things, we've got to start doing that 20% rather than that 80% all the time. So a big part of that is learning to switch off. So yeah, that's a real key. But yeah, I run now quite regularly on a monthly basis. I'm running a free Impossible Goals workshop. So
nice.
If any of the guys would like to come to that would be brilliant.
Yeah.
And they fill up fast. So I'll have to be early on the next one. That's what I know.
Well, I'm setting up the next one at the moment. I was going to do it like May 15th. And with you guys, I was thinking I could put it a bit later so it's EST, fits with EST time. But is your talk like 9 till 10 normally, or it's
7:55. Yeah. So we go 7:55 to 8:30 is typically what we go when we have a guest, but 7:55 to 8:10 every day. So.
Oh, well, so shall I put it, if I made it like 8:30 or 9 o'clock, would that be better?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we could roll it right in. So we just finish this up and then jump on and talk about impossible goals. I think that's a great idea.
That would be brilliant. I'll put it 9 I'll make sure it's 9. I'll work out the time difference and I'll set it up.
Absolutely. Well, hey, this has been a great reconnection, and I look forward to the Impossible Goal webinar and meeting. And Freddie, I'm gonna let Mr. Freddie have the final thought and close us out on this Thursday.
Well, this is something that Duncan just mentioned a few minutes ago. Are you aiming small? And I think we should do a self-check on this. Are your goals big enough, and are you aiming too small?
I love it. Thanks again, Duncan. Talk to you guys soon. See you tomorrow.
Lovely.